Hello students, welcome to the MySQL Python connectivity of Python series. In the previous video, we have seen how we can connect Python to MySQL. In this video, let's see how we can insert records to the MySQL using Python. These are the steps we need to follow to create a database connectivity application. First, open Python, import the packages, establish the connection, create the cursor instance, execute the query, extract the data, and clean up the environment. These steps are covered in detail in the previous video. Now, before inserting the records, first we need to create the table. So, using the create table command, you can create the table. Just give that command within the execute method of the cursor instance. Let's see with the example program. In this program, we are just creating a table named library with the three fields: book number, book title, and author. So first, we open this program, then importing the packages, then establishing the connection. Here, while establishing the connection, we are specifying the database name also. My database name is 12CSDB. So to that database, I am creating the table. Then next step is creating the cursor instance. Then I am just executing the create table query. Then to see whether it is created, I am just executing the show table command also. And the result of that will be displayed out using the for loop. And after completing the connection, everything, I am closing the cursor and also the connection. So let's execute this program. See the output. There is no other table in my database, only the newly created one, that is the library. Let's verify that using the MySQL also. Here, this is my database. I'm opening the database, and for seeing the records, I'm just giving the command show tables. So see the table, and let's describe the structure also of this table library. See, the table library is created with these three fields: book number, title, and the author. Now, let's see how we can insert the records. How we can insert the records to our table. Inserting record, the insert into command can just give to the execute method of the cursor instance. Insert into library values 1 Ignited Minds APJ Abdul Kalam. That is the first book. And second, insert into library values 2 The Universe in a Nutshell by Stephen Hawking. This is the second book. So 2 books I am going to insert. But one thing we need to remember, whenever we execute the insert command, the data of that table, we are inserting a new table. Change is happening to the table. That means the database. So when we execute the statements which makes changes to the database, then we have to do an extra thing. That means we need to commit the connection, commit the query. That also need to be done. Then only the change becomes permanent. So run the commit method of the connection after doing all the necessary steps. Then that will be reflected, the change will be reflected back in the database. That means the change is permanent now. So you have to do commit the connection also. db connection dot commit. That's why we used here. The insert command, update commands, delete command. Update means changing the data, delete means deleting the data. These commands are making changes to the table data. So to make it permanent, we have to use this commit method. Now let's see the example program for this. Let me comment the first program. This. Now look at this next program. This is for inserting the records. So second step, import the package, then establish the connection, cursor instance, then inserting the records and commit the transaction. These things I have done. Then we want to see the inserted record. So the code for that also written here. That is, just to see the records, you can simply use select star from library. So that's also written here. After giving this command, that will be there in the cursor, that is displayed using the for loop. And after doing all the job, we are closing the cursor and the connection. So let's see. First, packages are imported, then connection, then cursor instance, then we are inserting and also committing the transaction. So let's execute the program. See, both the records are entered. See, if we are omitting that commit, the change will not be permanent. So let me now the statements, everything will be there. I am just double checking this here in MySQL library. Okay, so two records are there. Now I'm just deleting these records using the delete command. And again, let me execute the program without the commit. Then I will show you delete from library. I'm just deleting the records I have already entered. So no record. Okay, now let me execute. There is no record. Now I'm making a slight change to our program. That is, this commit I am commenting. That commit I am omitting that. So again I am executing the program. Then let's check what will happen in this case. See, here the books are showing. Both books are entered. That is showing clearly here. But this, let's check with MySQL. Let me see. I have executed the select command, but it is showing it as the empty set. That means even though it is showing these books here, it is not reflecting back to the MySQL. That change is not permanent. So to make it permanent, you have to do the commit. Then only it becomes permanent. So this is important. Commit need to be done. And again executing the program and it will be there. Okay, now I am again checking it with the MySQL. Definitely that will be there. So commit is important. Now let's move on to some other variations of this program. We can do some variations here. One is we can use a placeholder. Let's see this example. I will explain with the placeholder with the example. Insert into command. I am writing it to a variable called q. Insert into library, and here I am using the column list. Then values. I'm not supplying the values. Instead of that, I am using a placeholder. Percentages, small letter s. Percentages, percentages, percentages. Three values I want to supply, but I don't know the value yet. Then I am supplying the value as a tuple here in B, book B. 3 Wings of Fire by APJ Abdul Kalam. So then to the execute command, I am supplying the query and also the value for that. Q is the query with placeholder and B is the values. I am just giving it as a tuple. Now what will happen? Let us execute, check the program. I am just commenting this part. We don't need this part. This we have already seen. Now let's use the placeholder. Execute the command with the placeholder. And here also I need a commit. Let me on this one. Okay. Now commit is also on, and we can see the records here. Okay. Now let me execute this insert into command with the placeholder. Just executing the command program. See, now our table contains these 3 records. The third one is inserted now. Let me check it in MySQL. See, the third record is there in MySQL. We have committed that, so it is permanent change. Now let's make some more variation to the program. Then here we are using placeholder in another way. That means we are placeholder is there. We are entering the book number, title and the author from the user. We are asking user to input the book number, title and the author. From the user we are accepting that, and just using that instead of supplying the values here. Instead of that, we are taking that from the user. So that is happening here in this case. Now let me enter a record using this method. In this way you can do the program. Any records can be entered in this way. So let's comment this one, and this is the insert into command. Here no, sorry, from the user we are inputting the data. Let me comment this one also. And now from the user we are inputting the data. This is the part. Okay, we are entering the book number, book table, book title and the author's detail, and we are supplying that to a list, and we are committing the transaction. Okay, so let's do this one. No need to commit it here. Okay, now we are inputting the values and executing the insert into command using those values. Okay, let us execute this program. Okay, book number, it's out of 3 already entered, so now making it 4. And book title Harry Potter. Okay, so title given, it is written by J.K. Rowling. So okay, J.K. Rowling also entered. Now see, now our record table contains 4 records. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last one is the Harry Potter. So in this way you can directly input from the accept those values from the user. This is also possible. Now let's see a slight other variation from this. This is how we input from the user. Now let's have a slight variation for this placeholder. We can use a format function to specify the placeholder. This is how we normally do the placeholder, just giving percentages. We are supplying the values for that, and those values will be replaced for this percentages. Now here you can see another placeholder, that is curly braces. Curly bracket we are using here as the placeholder. Look at this. Here curly braces 1, 2, 3. 3 curly braces, but the first one is without quotes and second and third one is with quotes. I will explain why it is so. First, then we are using a format function. And when the values will be substituted in this placeholder. 4 will be substituted as the first value, that means the book number. Then the god of small things, that is the second value that will be substituted in the second position. I have used a quotes here because this is a string. 4 is an integer and the god of small things is a string. That is why I have used this quotes here. Now, it is written by Arundhati Roy, that is also enclosed within quotes. So, in this way, using the format function also, we can give the placeholders. So, this is one way. Let's execute that. Another way is using the named argument. Named arguments means we are giving some names for the arguments. Here, instead of this placeholder, we are using some named arguments. Look at this one. I am entering one more value, that is this 5 BT BA. BT is for title and BA is for author. Then BT the alchemist and BA is the Paulocolia. Okay, so this will be substituted here. In this way also you can use the placeholder and named argument also can be used. Any method you can follow. So let's execute our program. We have already entered the fourth book. Now let me make this, and now we need to do the format variations. So 1, 2, 4 books already entered. So let me, the APJ Abdul Kalam, this is also we have done. Now let's placeholder second format. Let's look at that. Means with this curly bracket, curved braces. Let's find out how we can do that. Now the book number I am just changing it to 5 because 4 is already entered. So I am making it 5 and this I am making it to 6. Okay. Now let me, okay, I am removing the comment, this one and this one also. Let us execute both together. Say this one is with named arguments. Okay. And we are committing the transaction. Okay, let's execute this one. So the god of small things and the alchemist. Okay, let's execute the program. See, the the god of small things and the alchemist, both are entered. In this way also, using the format, we can enter the values. So anyway, you can follow. Now let's see how we can insert multiple records. We have just seen how we can enter one book at a time. So it's possible to enter more books at a time. How we can do that? A slight variation is here, that is, instead of execute we are using the command execute many. That means we need to execute multiple commands. That's why execute many, using execute many we can enter more than one books. So here Q contains the insert into command with placeholders, and I'm creating a list called books. Each list element is a book, a tuple of book. 5 Vision 2020 by APJ Abdul Kalam and 6 Making India Awesome by Chetan Bhagat. 2 books I want to enter. Here we have already entered 6 books. I will change the book number to 7 and 8. Okay. So execute many can be used for doing this. Let me execute the program. Already up to 6 we have done. So let me let me comment this first. Now the command with multiple entry. Let's do this. Multiple commands can be entered. That is this part. multiple books can be entered at a time. So let's make this one 7 and this one 8. Then it will be easier. Entering multiple records using the execute many. Here we are supplying the query and also the list containing the values. Then we are submitting that. Let me execute this. See, now our table contains 8 records. Last one is India 2020 and Making India Awesome is the 8th one. Let me check the MySQL also, whether all the records are there. Yes, all the records, all the books are there. 8 books here. So we have studied how to insert records in different way. You can use placeholder, you can enter multiple values, you can accept data from the user. In all ways you can insert the records. So you can follow whichever method you like. As per the situation you can opt a particular method. So let's summarize. Execute method can be used to insert the records. Just give the insert into command to the execute method. Then execute many is used to execute multiple records, to insert multiple records. Then while inserting you can use placeholders. When we insert the command we must commit the query also. Commit the connection, otherwise that change will not be permanent. To make it make the change reflected back in the original database, you have to commit. That is very important. I hope you understood the concept thoroughly. Thanks for watching.